It was a humid June evening in 2023 when my 911 console went dead. Not a flicker of internet or power, just the entire emergency relay system for half of Willow Springs, a rural patch outside Augusta, Georgia, flatlined for 9 agonizing minutes. In my world as a 9/11 network coordinator, 9 minutes can mean a heart attack victim slipping away or a fire engulfing a home before help arrives. I leapt from my chair, running diagnostics faster than most people check their phones. The culprit? A missing Wi-Fi booster, one of my private backups, locked in a steel shed on my property with an encrypted padlock. Someone had stolen it. Security footage revealed the thief, Cynthia Blake, the HOA president, strolling away with it under her arm like it was a loaf of bread. Her floppy hat, neon yellow sandals, and HOA badge flapping on her vest were unmistakable. Cynthia, who once fined a neighbor for unapproved mailbox decals, had just escalated from petty tyrant to public safety threat. I wanted to storm her house, but in my line of work, you don't react, you act. So, I took a breath, saved the footage, and planned my next move. This wasn't just about a booster. It was about a woman who'd turned our quiet community into her personal fiefdom, and I was about to flip her world upside down. Cynthia was infamous in Willow Springs for her obsession with control. She'd once argued that wind chimes disrupted the neighborhood's acoustic harmony. Now, she'd stolen a device critical to emergency services. The next morning, I strolled into the HOA clubhouse, playing it cool. Cynthia sat sipping chamomile tea, pitching her latest scheme, a neighborhood-wide connectivity collective to balance bandwidth equity. She even suggested Wi-Fi dues. I lingered in the back, pretending to scroll my phone, watching her toss around tech buzzwords she barely understood. When a neighbor asked how her signal was so strong lately, she smirked, saying she'd found a discarded booster near someone's shed. My jaw tightened, but I stayed silent. She'd plugged my booster into her network, renaming it CynthiaNet. What she didn't know was that it was part of the 9/11 relay, routing encrypted emergency signals. By stealing it, she turned her home into a traceable hub for sensitive data, federal offense wrapped in her arrogance. That night, I ran a test ping through the booster's MAC address. It bounced back from CynthiaNet, confirming she'd integrated it into her system. Worse, it was relaying pings from police, fire dispatch, and rural clinics on our legacy system. Her kitchen was now a rogue node for emergency communications. I needed hard evidence, so I visited her house, pretending to drop off a stray HOA flyer. She invited me in, smug as ever, and there it was, a booster, mounted on her wall with a sticky note labeled HOA property. She bragged about her community tech upgrade, oblivious that it was broadcasting government signals. I asked if she had cybersecurity measures. She laughed, saying hackers only target big shots. I smiled, sipping her offered tea, knowing she'd turned her home into an open server. I filed an anonymous report to the county's IT division, flagging the compromised node. At the HOA's Digital Unity Night, Cynthia showcased her setup, pointing to my booster, now decorated with a plastic sunflower. She claimed it boosted the block's internet, unaware it had caused 3 missed 911 calls, including one rerouted to a gas station miles away. I recorded her speech, her flyers advertising Cynthia's Wi-Fi club for $40 a month. Neighbors clapped, buying her nonsense. I waited, letting her build her empire on stolen tech. Then came the shock. My system flagged a second booster on CynthiaNet, sourced from a county emergency shelter kit. She wasn't just a thief, she was a serial tech scavenger, treating critical infrastructure like a garage sale find. Her setup was now relaying 911 signals through an unsecured network, risking lives. If a hacker tapped in, they could spoof ambulance routes or eavesdrop on distress calls. I couldn't shut it down without tipping her off to cry sabotage and rally her loyalists. I needed undeniable proof. At her next event, a Tech and Tacos night, Cynthia lectured about digital fairness, her whiteboard scribbled with nonsensical diagrams. My booster, now wrapped in glitter tape, sat proudly in the corner. My Signal Monitor app spiked, catching hospital dispatch pings bouncing through her network. Neighbors donated old routers, thinking they were joining a community grid. I nearly choked when one offered a 2003 modem, and Cynthia claimed it was retrocompatible. Her ignorance was a ticking bomb. I called my friend, Detective Maria Vega, from the county's cyber unit. Her face paled as I explained. She volunteered to pose as a resident needing a booster for her remote job. At Cynthia's, Maria played clueless, snapping photos as Cynthia offered a stolen county booster for $50 a month. Maria paid with marked bills, capturing it all on a body cam. The booster had a storm shelter tag. Cynthia's garage was a black market tech hub. We ran a test 911 signal during the HOA's connectivity roundtable. It hit CynthiaNet, delaying a mock heart attack response by 48 seconds, potentially deadly. The logs were ironclad. Cynthia, mid-speech about her Cyber Guardians initiative, pushed neighbors to report suspicious devices. Maria and a uniformed officer walked in, presenting the logs. Cynthia's voice faltered. She accused them of faking data, then tried unplugging the booster. Maria stopped her, citing interference. Neighbors demanded answers. Why was emergency gear in her house? Why did their Wi-Fi crash during her events? The HOA vice president, Tom Harris, suspended her on the spot. Cynthia stormed out, screaming about persecution. 2 days later, a white SUV pulled up. Federal agents knocked on Cynthia's door. She let them in, thinking they were HOA allies. 20 minutes later, her voice rose accusations of conspiracies, threats of lawsuits. They emerged with her routers, boosters, and drives in sealed cases. A seizure warrant silenced her. CynthiaNet was dead. The HOA meeting that night was grim. Tom announced Cynthia's removal. Neighbors cheered quietly, stunned. Her house went dark, her yard signs gone. But a new alert hit my console. CynthiaNet was back, broadcasting as FreedomWave_X with a military-grade booster. Its firmware screamed FEMA or contractor tech, far beyond Cynthia's grasp. A scan showed it linking 82 unsecured routers countywide, touching a school server. I sent the logs to Maria, who confirmed it was part of a stolen prototype shipment sold on the black market. Cynthia had clicked an online ad for a community Wi-Fi kit, activating a device someone was watching. Days later, Cynthia appeared on my porch, handing me an envelope. Her face was drawn, not defiant. "They left this," she whispered, walking away. Inside were logs, a partial manual, and a note. Unit 612, active field test. No civilian disclosure. She'd been a pawn in a larger scheme, her ego exploited. Her house hit the market soon after, and she vanished, leaving a note. I thought I was helping. I didn't know they were watching. The neighborhood breathed easier. Kids biked freely, no fines in mailboxes. But I couldn't relax. That booster wasn't random. Someone had used Cynthia, and their signal was still out there. Would you have confronted Cynthia immediately, or build a case like I did? Should I have shut her network down early, risking her wrath, or waited for the feds? Was Cynthia a victim of a bigger scheme, or just a reckless egoist? Drop your thoughts below, share this if you faced an HOA nightmare, and subscribe for more stories of fighting back, because my neighbor's already complaining about my antenna.